Okay, hi. Today about lesson 3. Um, there is 6 topics to talk about it. First one is whatever there is topic 2. Okay, we're gonna do an example from page 42 last lesson. What we're gonna learn from here is actually to practice our what we have learned for lesson 2, and then to introduce you specific gravity. Previously we talked about specific weight. Okay, so now we talk about specific gravity. Okay, you have to note that they are. Don't think that specific is only specific for one thing. It's specific gravity or weight. You have to be very careful. And then after that, we talk about submerging for topic 3. Is more on submerge, and is hydrostatic force. Okay, is fluid forces. Hydrostatic is fluids. So previously, if you were to recap everything, topic 1 is more on introducing you to the course itself, and then also to introduce definitions, and then mainly on knowing the body force, the different type of fluids and stuff like that. And then for topic 2, we talk about hydrostatic fluid pressure, everything about pressure. So but now we talk about how when you're submerging your stuff um, into some sea or maybe air, um, how it will actually change, due to pressure and such. So after which then we will talk about center of gravity and then summary for the whole topic 3. So without further ado, I will go on to starting what we have left over. For example, page 42. This is a question. Okay, so give me a minute. You remember last lesson? Okay, we talked about deriving the formula and deriving whatever thing with regards to this type of questions. Okay, with regards to all this type of questions. Typically, the question itself, they all label all these things for you. So what you have to do is actually to determine where are the points. Okay, how are the points, the relationship of the points with another point, and you try to make equation with all the points that are given, so that you can actually find P gauge. And therefore, in our case, this is a tank, a closed tank, contains compressed air over here, and oil. Okay, oil is in the gray section, and then a YouTube thermometer. Okay, is actually this whole piece is a YouTube thermometer. Okay, there's a specific gravity. Okay, of this Hg is 13.6. Hg I think is mercury, and then connected to the tank as shown. So these column heights are H1, so these are the dimensions. Make sure you take note that there are meters and cm, so when you are doing things, so the first thing you need to do is to change all these things into meter. So cm to meter first, and then you write it down in your notes, although I didn't write down. So I think it's a good practice for you to actually write down all the dimensions first. And then you determine the pressure reading, and then you are given specific rate of water as at 4 degrees Celsius is this thing. So yeah, with this said, it's just another not simple but rather than intuitional thing that we can actually use this. So find a point in the fluid. Okay, find whatever point in the fluid. You find point 2. Maybe you then point 2. How does point 2 relate to point 1? Point 2 relates to point 3. They are the same height, so point 2 should be equals to point 3, and point 2 is dependent on point 1. So point 1 is dependent on what? Is dependent on the air and the rho GH of this. So from here you can actually see a lot of things, and also point 3 can be also in terms of the atmospheric pressure plus the rho GH of this thing. So these are the things that I can identify from here. Are there any other points? No, there are only 3 points. So I have really found all the 3 points. Now I have to make a relationship with that. Okay, so my first approach is actually to find P1, which is this point over here. So P1 is this point. So it is, make sure you take note, because just now when I written down here P air, actually I write P atmospheric. So this is actually air, okay, not atmospheric. So this is a very dangerous mistake. Okay, when you see A, okay, atmosphere. No, it's air. Okay, air, dude, air. Be very very careful. And so P1 is equals to P air plus the rho. This is specific weight. Okay, this is specific weight. Specific gravity, they are so-called written as G. Okay, so this is specific gravity. Specific weight is this one. Okay, don't get confused between these two. And then this one is rho oil multiplied by G H1, right? So I think you already know what I mean. So you set up the let's go through very fast. So actually this video, just let you know, is talking about only topic 2. So I'm not going to drag on topic 3. Topic 3 later I'll just talk about it. So I'll just quickly set up all these things. So point 1 is in terms of atmospheric air plus the oil, the height. And then the relationship between point 1 and point 2 is that point 1 plus H2, okay, rho g H2 is equals to P2, right? P2 is in terms of all these things. So you just sub in P1 back from this equation. Okay, this equation you just sub in over here. So this portion is the same as this portion. I just sub in P1. So this is P1, and this is this is what it is over here lah. Okay. So when you rearrange everything, you eventually get this equation. So P2 can be described using this equation. So it's the amount of the P air, point of the pressure of the air, plus the density of the oil from this point all the way to point 2. Okay, so this H1 plus H2, and it makes sense. So now since we know point 2 already, now we can also relate to point 3, since point 3 and point 2 share the same height. So therefore we actually use point 3 equals to P2, and then we also know that point 3 can also be described by P atmospheric. Okay, so this is open to air. So when it's open to air, you must make sure that you know that this is PADM. Okay, so this is PADM plus the amount of rho GH in this section. So you get the amount of point 3, the pressure at point 3, and therefore we have two equations. So so P3 is equals to P2, right? So P2 is equals to, this is P3, and then this is the other form. Sorry, okay. This is supposed to be written as P3, sorry. But you get my intuition. Okay. So I'm not gonna say anything yet. It's P3, so P2 is actually this one. So then P3 can also be described by using this. So you know that P3 can be described using P2 and the relationship at here. So since we have all of the points being described in terms of equation, we know that we are safe. Okay, we know that we are safe. How do you know? So you incorporate all variables in the diagram, and therefore you just rearrange. Okay, so I just take, you have two equations as I said earlier. This is equals to this. So therefore you just bring this thing over here. Right, it's the same thing. Then after that I rearrange, and then after I rearrange, now is the new tool coming up. Also is SG sample is equals to the specific weight sample over specific water. So specific gravity is the ratio between specific whatever that you want over specific water at 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, in this case it's 4 degrees Celsius, so it's 9.8 kilonewton. So be very careful that it is actually 9.8 times 10 to the power of 3. So when you multiply, be very sure. Be very careful. So when you see this question, make sure you write down all the terms first in terms of the correct SI unit. And therefore this portion, if you blur, okay, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking. This portion is actually this portion. I just rearrange only. Okay. So rearrange already, you realize that you have variables like this one. and this one that you don't know how to solve because you're not given. Okay, you're not given anything, any information on that. You're only given specific gravity. So in order to, since you are given specific gravity and you're given specific weight of the water, okay, specific weight, specific gravity, so we can actually solve for it. So so this is Sg, specific gravity of the mercury, okay, multiply by the, because this is Hg, okay, so maybe I should write down over here. So specific gravity of mercury is equals to the specific specific weight of mercury over specific water, specific weight of water. So you just bring it up to describe this equation over here. So this is what I just sub in there. So similarly for oil also. Okay, so after that you have all this thing, you just sub in all the values given. Okay, you just get the numbers. Make sure you have to calculate properly and make sure your signs are correct. Meter and cm, make sure you get it right. So this is just a decent question. So yeah, so good luck in your tutorial, and I'll just continue with the rest, starting on topic 3, submerging. And in fact this two part will be very tedious, so I hope you can, hopefully I don't cock up. So see you there. Bye bye.